Hi everyone, welcome back to Spiritual Growth Tarot. I'm Denise, and this is it's going to be a weird reading. That's all I can say. It's a great question, and it was asked by Rosemary Carlson. She wanted to know what's Trump's next life after reincarnation. And so I just have to preface this whole reading with I mean, well, I'm not going to be able to prove it. It's not going to, you know what I mean? Because it's his next incarnation. We won't see that unless he goes out and comes right back in, and we know it's him. I guess there is that possibility. I can't say for sure. So what I thought I would do is I created a spread where I could combine his karma for this lifetime, what his higher self intention is to heal, or was to heal, and may still be. And everyone has a higher self. Everyone has a higher self, lower self, and a mask self. And a part of themselves who thinks they need to be a certain way in order to have love and approval. So I'm I might draw extra cards after I get these main 11 cards out. So just bear with me. If you want to take notes as to the positions, like the card positions, like if you ever want to do a reading like this on yourself, you might want to take notes. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so Donald John Trump's main karma this lifetime. I'll get these all squared up in a moment. What was his higher self intention to heal this lifetime? What has been his lower self, like his ego fragmentation that he needed to heal this lifetime? What has been his mask self? The degree of success in healing his soul this lifetime. His karma for next lifetime. Oops. Okay. Down here, these cards are, well, I'll talk you through it. This card here is going to be his unconscious blind spots, his like ego personality that he brought in. Okay, now these last four cards are going to be really just focused on his next lifetime. So what type of family will he incarnate into next time? Because that will set up everything for, his experience. What type of family is he going to choose on a higher self level in order to heal? Okay. What type of country? Geographically, what type of a country? Okay. And what will be his greatest fear in his next lifetime? And what does he need to experience in his next lifetime? Okay. All right, so let me keep these in somewhat of an order in case I've drawn more cards. Let's see. And again, I'm just going to have to keep talking you through it because this is a wonky kind of a spread I've never done before, and I don't think you'll find it anywhere, so it's like you can't look it up online. It's not like the Celtic Cross or anything like that. You're just going to have to, if you want to do it yourself, or if you want to follow along in the easiest way, you can write it down. You know, the positions. Okay, so the main karma this lifetime for him with the Fool reversed, it was to heal some missed opportunities in his prior lifetimes. So this goes with that reading that I did a long time ago. I've posted in the community section. It's called something like, I don't know, Psychic Empath reading on Donald John Trump. I can't remember the rest of it. I just remember the thumbnail had kind of like an orange, red, brick red maybe coloring to it. So if you can't find it in my community section, just comment and I'll link it. But that in that reading, I sat in meditation for a long time, and I got really clear that his higher self, his spiritual essence was grieving for his soul because he hadn't done anything that he was supposed to work on in this lifetime. And he was brought in with a specific soul task, like we all are, and he hasn't worked on any of it. So this card is reiterating that. It is confirming that. Because when the Fool's reversed, it's a big delay. So we're talking, a big delay in his karma, meaning like he's dwarfed and he's stuck. His soul growth is just stuck. This card is all about making really bad choices and not considering your actions and especially how your choices affect others. With the Fool reversed, it's really awful. Now, it's also a place where a soul would be afraid of the new challenges. So it feels like he kind of came in kicking and screaming, going, no, not again, and then he just hunkered down and decided not to even go towards his higher self. How sad is that? Now, his higher self intention to heal with the Ace of Cups, so this is everything on the material level. And even though he was born into a family with, you could say a silver spoon or whatever, with tons of financial opportunity, that is exactly what he needed to heal. So this tells me there's been a pattern in his past lives where he has not, he's not overcome that. Well, he's not gone through this gateway that gets you to what true power is, what true earthly, what we should be manifesting on the earthly plane, which is like spiritualizing our matter with every breath, which means that we keep opening up to our higher self on the pure physical level, and then healing can occur. So this tells me that he has ignored his body. He has ignored anything that could help him, manifest a whole different life. Because on a higher self intention to heal, with this card, it's all about prosperity and manifesting and creating some type of a new beginning, but he's stuck. So he can't get this. But this tells me that this has been going on for lifetimes, that he's been given the opportunity lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, but he has failed. And then that's the way it is. There's, in the highest realms of spirit, there's no real judgment. It's just that you can't get from one level of consciousness to the other until you do the work, until you do the soul work. So, there's no such thing as eternal damnation. There's no such thing as, like a contract with Satan that you can't break, things like that. So don't, whatever you do, don't fall into these like biblical traps of thinking that At least it's not my belief. I mean, believe whatever you want, but I don't believe there's anything like eternal damnation or contracts with the dark forces that you can't break. That's just, to me, that's ridiculous. That's like saying you can't change a contract here on earth with a person. I mean, it's that's crazy. Of course we can change our contracts. We do it all the time. People get divorced. People say no to, challenging relationships, and they don't, continue on. So then to move forward, this card is about his lower self, ego fragmentation. So that tells me with his lower self, he has this need to be, applauded, lauded, acclaimed, acknowledged. It's the card of just really needing to be seen and being recognized and winning. This is the card of winning and achievements. So how's that been working out? I mean, he's got to be tired of all the winning, right? Because, yeah, we definitely see him. And that's one of the things that I always thought, when he was running for president this last time, I never knew about him being serious about it prior to, and I don't really know if that's true or not. But anyway, when he was running in 2015, I was like, what kind of a person with his background and his ties to the mob and his money laundering and his, dark family, who runs for president? Because anybody that runs for president is, everything comes out. And so he certainly is seen now. He's seen in everything that he's done. So do you see how there is that interesting higher self, lower self connection, where your higher self will want you to recognize the lower self so that you can heal it, because it's the only way you can heal it. So there's that connection there. So you have to heal. In his case, he has to heal that place where he always had his hand out for money, and now he's seen. Now his mask self, so this would be the place, this would be, this card, this energy here would be, and it's, when it's straight up, of course, it's Jupiter and Capricorn, so it's always, juggling, going towards resources and money and wanting to keep expanding that way, even if you end up dropping all the plates that you're spinning, or your ship, goes upside down back there. Notice the Russian, the red Russian hat. Notice that. So when it's reversed, what he's been trying to hide and cover up has to do with just this place where he won't really commit, and he's had financial losses. These cards go together really well. So in his past life, he had financial losses. And he also probably had tremendous amount of struggling, and maybe even like no backup plan going on. There's that possibility. It's the card of like everything just falling apart. You drop the plates, you can't spin them. Here he is. This lifetime, he's tried to cover up the fact that he's been in bed with Putin for who knows how long, at least the 80s. He wanted Moscow. He wanted two Trump towers in Moscow. Like that plan was that plan was in place at least by 2013. But this is a card of his inability to manage financial, his financial dealings and his financial details. But so that's what he's covering up. All his life he's been covering that up. And he's also been covering up all the ways that he's failed financially. Now, when it comes to his degree of success. Well, with the Queen of Swords, I can't say that there's a whole lot of success in the financial realm, because this is not a Pentacles card. But on a soul level, this would have a person in that place where there is some intelligence that comes through as to how to receive, because it's water and air, so that's strategy, but receiving support. So this tells me, this is of course that whole entire mess that he's been in. This reminds me of that old Jimi Hendrix quote. Let's see if I can remember it. When the power of love overcomes the power, when the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. So this is all a mismanagement of power, and it's under this lower self ego fragmentation that just needed to be recognized, and he kind of doesn't really care. Well, because of all the lack of planning, the only real success that he's had has been to come into a painful reality where there is no emotional, there's no love, there's no care. Because this would be a very independent person who's, who's cleared out. Well, it's often the card of widowers. It's often the card of someone who's gone through a really hard time emotionally. But we know that he doesn't. He hasn't. He doesn't. Well, at least we don't think he does. Well, maybe he's feeling more than we know. When he's alone. But I feel like, honestly, this is just one of those imperfect human things that happened where this card should have been reversed. Because if I were to read this in the reverse position, this is a person who makes trouble wherever they go. And also somebody who's very cruel and likes revenge, just wants to take revenge. So I'm just going to leave it reversed and call it to one of those, like stupid human tricks I just did, where it should have been reversed in the first place, because nothing else makes sense. We can't really see, we can't see him as an intelligent person, which is what the Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords is when it's straight up. This is somebody who's narrow-minded. When it's reversed, is narrow-minded and arrogant, and just, it's like, go back to any of the, the series on TV. You could, like, there's the White Queen and like the White Princess and the Spanish Queen or Spanish Princess. There's all kinds of women who've been dark and how they've manipulated and how vindictive they are, and it's all about power. And I think that's why I was remembering the Jimi Hendrix quote around when the power of love overcomes the love of power, then the soul will have peace, is what I really wanted to say, I guess. Now with this card being his karma in his next lifetime. In his next lifetime, he is meant to be restricted. He's meant to have a very, very challenging experience, I would think, where he's afraid to move forward. And that certainly goes with the karma in this lifetime on a deeper soul level, where he just makes mistakes after mistake after mistake, because it's a big pattern here of self-sabotage. This is that card of feeling like a victim. And he does that all the time. It's always, they're beating him up. And the people are just awful, nasty women. Oh my goodness. This card is also feeling so physically ill that you can't really muster any strength to move. Just keep looking at this image here. There's no movement. The only way out is to go in and through the feeling body. Well, I don't think that he does that. We don't have any cups cards here. So he's got a lot of ego fragmentation and then just like this ridiculous amount of need to be seen. Because of course he didn't have that growing up. He didn't, the real needs of a little one growing up are to have love and to have safety, of course, and, connection. And that like warmth and caring, parent or at least major caretaker. And he didn't get that. So, of course, for him to grow up and mature, he would need to meet the pain, process that through. But he never has. So instead, he's created all these substitute needs, which creates addictions of all types. So he's had an addiction to power, an addiction to being seen and heard, and he's misused his power. He's had this addiction to being famous, but he's never really got there. We don't have the star card here. He hasn't made it to fame. I mean, he's famous for all the wrong reasons. I guess we could say that. But he doesn't understand his real needs, so therefore, how can he heal them? And that's what sets up the fall in every lifetime. It's always the vicious circle of unmet real needs. So, okay, so down here, for you to look at, well, wait, you know what? I have one more thing to say about this card. This card is a card of your self-created prison. So the karma in his next lifetime is his self-created prison. And notice it's Jupiter and Gemini, so he might come back as another Gemini, but, maybe in the 8th house where, I don't know. I mean, who knows? Astrologically, I would guess there's got to be some heavy Capricorn energy. There's got to be some heavy mental, any sign that would go with like mental anguish, because that's what this card is about. Okay, to the nth degree. Just the mind going crazy. What happens, with the next card after this, which being the 9 of Swords. So, with these 5 cards down here, this next one is with the 2 of Swords, or this card is in the position of what are his unconscious blind spots? What is the ego personality that is in motion, I suppose would be the right way to give voice to that. And it's a stalemate. This is the card of stalemate. And it certainly goes with this Fool reversed. So this is the kind of guy that doesn't, he gets, in his personality, on the personality level, he actually has pleasure. It's negative pleasure, but he has pleasure in battles, in having, just that, being in that place where he's controlling the whole thing. And he's not going to give up, and he's also not going to give way, and he's not going to listen. It has to do with not having any, inner harmony. And you can't really go forward, Within this card, it's like you can't really go forward. The 3 of Swords comes after it, but you can't really go forward without more information. But he's just going to hold on. So this is like the card of unconscious blind spots if you're not willing to make a decision. And up here we've had lots of bad decisions. So I guess they kind of go together in that he's been afraid to make the wrong decision again. Now, granted, you have to remember this is what's unconscious, what's going on. You know, in the physical world, on the physical level, we see him. We definitely see him, making decisions all the time, but they're made in order to take revenge, exact revenge, and he's got this masked self of being really tough and hard. But here, with what's unconscious, he's very fragmented in the mind, mentally fragmented. So, what type of family will he be incarnating into? Well, with the Hanged Man reversed, goodness, a family who will have zip to do with spirituality, a family who is very bitter, maybe like a biblical type of a family that's, religious but not spiritual at all. Just, they're going to go with the strong, dogma, which would be like, some kind of false spirituality. And there's a rejection. There's just a rejection of all things spiritual is what I'm feeling here. Also, this card is all about, when it's reversed, it's just a focus on the material world. There's no, because the Hanged Man, when it's reversed, it's the card that has to do with wanting to look at things from a different angle, or needing to surrender and look at things from a different angle. So whether this card is upright or reversed, in what type of family, it's not good, because either you're stuck or you're just focused on just material basic needs. But it's also that like impoverished soul, because there's just been a focus on same thing up here. So this is just a repeat. His next lifetime is going to be a repeat, only he's going to have a whole lot less power. Because the type of country that he's going to incarnate into is going to be very young on the earthly level. They will be striving for, financial success, but I don't think that they're going to be abundant. I mean, we don't have the Empress card here. We don't have the Emperor. We don't have the Hierophant. We don't have, this card is all about young, immature, financial. It could be a country that doesn't want to take any financial risk much. It could be a country where there's just a lot of studying to get ahead, where there's a lot of work to get ahead, but it's young. This isn't the King of Pentacles here. This isn't even the Queen or the Knight. It's worse than that. It's demoted below that. This is struggling for money. So that will be the geographic location, and then the type of family will be that they will be struggling financially. So there's that. What will be his greatest fear in his next lifetime? Well, with the Six of Swords, will be that he can't move on. He can't get away. And there's no support, because when the Six of Swords is straight up, you've got someone that has rescued you. This is often the card of immigration, and you know, there's not much baggage when it's straight up because you had to hurry and get out of town, and you're moving to, you know, you had to get out of the country even, move to calmer water. Well, when it's reversed, you can't get away. You're stuck. It's very challenging. It's trapped. So that's his greatest fear, is to be trapped. Now, we all know we attract our greatest fears so that they can be made conscious and worked through. His only way out of his entrapment, ooh, there's a Freudian slip, tramp. The only way out of his soul entrapment is to go through the pain. And the only way he's going to go through the pain is to have that experience himself. And that leads me to this card. What does he need to experience? This, to me, when I read this card, is it has to be with the deepest inner conflicts. It has to do with winning at all costs, but you're not really winning at all because you're not creating win-win situations. This card to me is all about the dualistic split within. So he needs to experience his dualistic split, which is, for him, his personality self, he thinks he needs to be winning all the time. That's his lower self, ego fragmentation. So these go together really well. So he's going to have to experience war. He's going to have to experience someone being sneaky around him and very self-interested, selfish. He's going to have to experience betrayal. He's going to have to experience lots of arguments and eventually defeat. So, and this row down here is for his next lifetime. Wow. Because this is the karma for his next lifetime. To be restricted and experience his defeat. So whether or not, okay, I guess here's the saving, or the message for us to take away. The takeaway message is for us to know that whether or not he is locked up this lifetime, he will definitely be in his next lifetime. So that's very interesting. Why not? Here I am talking to myself in my own head. Let's see, what is his karma to experience? That'll do 5 cards. For his karma to experience this lifetime, what can we expect to see him go through in the rest of this lifetime for him? No matter how he tries to spin it, or what are, well, what are we going to see, basically? What are we going to see him experience the rest of his lifetime? Now that we know he's lost the election bigly, over and over and over and over again. I mean, even Mitch McConnell congratulated Biden. I don't know if he gave much credit to Kamala, but, I'm sorry, Kamala. Okay. But Donald John Trump, what are you going to experience the rest of this lifetime? Ooh. Wow. Wow. Okay. So we have the Four of Pentacles, the Hierophant, the King of Cups, which is Biden, Two of Cups reversed, and the Queen of Pentacles reversed. So so here's the theme. Biden will bring these elements in. So with the four of Pentacles reversed, my goodness, there's going to be extreme financial loss, and he needs to experience that. And it's going to come through the government, through the laws, through man-made laws, and through his needing to conform to the laws. You know what? This is our Constitution. This is our Constitution. So Biden's going to hold him accountable to the Constitution in all the ways that he violated it. And so we're talking emoluments clause, we're talking the Hatch Act, we're talking all of his self-dealing. And it may very well bring in RICO charges even, because it's all things, tied to the law. Could have just as easily had the justice card here, but I get that this has to do more about how he's violated the Constitution. So that's interesting. And the other experiences that we'll see him go through is the breakup of relationships and partnerships with the Two of Cups reversed. He won't have that, Mars in Cancer, he won't have that desire for support anymore. And because this is a medical card, this could be a health issue, especially in the heart. And also with the Queen of Pentacles, and it's straight up. This is, water, so it's receiving earthly support. It's reversed. So we are going to see him not receive the support that he wants. All his wheeling and dealing won't be dealing, won't be spinning. We are truly going to see what his misuse of his power will bring him. Or, the cause is his misuse of his own power. And this is the effect. So this is the karma here. And we will see at the end of this lifetime, his lifetime. Wow. So financial loss and debt, and Biden going after him. You know what? Maybe this is to go after him for all the subpoenas that he didn't honor. And so if he goes after Trump, Biden will be going after other people as well. Because he wants to bring emotional integrity back to the United States of America. So he's going to want to set a precedence. We have to remember, Biden has... wait, hold on. I think I have this chart. Do I? Oh, goodness. No. Well, oh yeah, here we go. Okay. Yeah, so here's his natal chart. So check out, see all this in Scorpio? I look at the 12th house as actually being the house, the true house of vocation. The 10th house is how we're perceived, by the outer world. But so with Neptune and Libra, he hasn't been perceived correctly. He's like, the dude is like one of those sleeper old cars that's got, a maxed out, 428, I don't know, whatever, that, looks like it can't do anything, but it will beat your ass. Don't try to race him. But what he really wants and what he's really connected to is fairness and equality. This is Libra Neptune and Libra. So source energy. He hasn't been seen correctly for how fair and just he can be. But deep down inside, he's connected to what, he knows what's right. And he knows what's right to do. And Scorpio energy, Sun conjunct Venus, this and Mercury and Mars, this is a whole lot of transformational consciousness. And it's fixed, and it will get the job done, and he will go to his, to the end of the earth, to the end of everything that he can in order to, he'll do everything he can in order to bring justice. There's a sextile here. So, also, he has the aspect of the architect here where, see how there's this sextile between his Sun and Venus to Neptune, and then a trine over here to Uranus. And this is in his 6th house of service. So he'll be talking to people, he'll wake people up, he'll get things going. And I'm sure Kamala will help him immensely. And then notice this finger of fate here. This is a yod here between, here, let me set it down. Between, there we go. Between Neptune, source energy, and consciousness, creative source energy and consciousness, connected to his south node, which is his past life, and it's in Pisces. So, guess what planet rules Pisces? Well, it's Neptune. And it's in the 3rd house of, community and communication. And then it's sextiling over here to his moon and is part of fortune in Taurus. So we're talking very tangible ways to get this going the right way. So it's like he came in to do this job. So I don't care if he's 77 years old. That doesn't make any diddly squat difference to me. He could be 87 for all I care. He doesn't have dementia. He's not, he doesn't have Alzheimer's. He's not sick in the head like Donald Trump has been all his life. So Donnie, he's coming for you. And he's going to use the power of the Constitution and man-made law to invoke what he knows is spiritually right to do. And Donnie, you're going to have to experience health issues and loss of partnership and loss of material support. So this could also be that he has all of his assets seized. That's very, very possible. The Queen of Pentacles reversed. Very possible. He's going to have to experience a lot of worry about, about his finances with both of these. So, okay, so there's that. Okay, you guys, I hope this wasn't too weird of a reading. And I'll be back and try and answer some more viewer questions. I have a lot of yes/no questions, so I'll work through those. But that'll probably be tomorrow. So, but anyway, I'm going to get this uploaded. Today's December 16th. Okay, thanks, you guys. Take good care, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and hugs. Okay, bye.